This is Dr. George Grant. I help my clients to follow the ABCDE: attitude of gratitude, belief, commitment, determination, and enthusiasm to live healthy to 111, focusing on their PMS, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Learn to live, learn, love, laugh, and leave a legacy. Best wishes.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Austin Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts right here. Settle in with me today. This is a very, very special interview that you are going to get incredible insights from. I know that you will. Let me first share with you. I have we'll figure out what this is, but this is a sweet potato. It's a certain kind of sweet potato. It's supposed to be purple, so you can let me know if it's purple. It goes along with the shirt. We're going to get into some great conversations today with Dr. Grant. I'm going to be bringing him on here in a few moments. I want to just share that this relationship with Dr. Grant has been a blessing for me. I mean, you're talking about 35 years of dedicating one's life to something that really goes and runs deep. Dr. Grant is typically found teaching. He's like a born teacher, and he wants to share this message of wellness to the world. Most recently, he did a topic, how to live healthy in a toxic world. That alone is very intriguing and interesting. So I want you to really dial into this, but I want you to really pay attention, because today, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to go into Dr. Grant's story, because a lot of times he's so passionate, he's always teaching. So I told him, I said, listen, Dr. Grant, we are going to go into your story, because I really want people to learn where you came from, because there's so many people going through a tough time with their health right now, with all the confusion. Let's dive into this. Please help me welcome my partner, my friend, and my recent co-author of Flashpoint, Dr. George Grant.
Hi, Austin.
Welcome, Dr. Grant.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I am so glad to have you here. This is the first time you're on our new platform with E360 TV. We are streaming live through the social media platforms, Apple, Amazon Fire, Roku. Please share this with somebody who you know that needs a health turnaround, because this is going to be some great insights. Dr. Grant, how do we find you today on this Flashpoint Friday?
Well, my turnaround story, Austin, is really simple. I was born for parents and grandparents and grand-grandparents who have very, very bad genes. Diabetes, blood pressure, heart problems, obesity, you name it. So at age 18, my mother passed away in her early 40s. My dad also passed away in his mid-50s. And I have never seen my grandparents, never seen one of them. I don't know what even grandparents look like or feel like. So when I was 18 years young, my mother passed away. I was orphaned at age 18, no mom. Just imagine during Mother's Day, when every other friend celebrating their Mother's Day have nothing else to celebrate. Of course, stepmom is not the same as real mom, as you understand. Okay, so that was very hurting for me to see this at my early age. So I was searching, how can I ever reverse heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, obesity naturally? How can I ever do this? There's got to be an answer somewhere. But at age 18, you're a teenager, you don't even know where to turn, right? So I start to learn, I start to search, I start to study. And from there, you know the rest of the story now, the turnaround that I've actually earned 3 doctorates, 3 masters, 3 bachelors, not to put things on the wall, not to brag about this, but to learn. It's really to learn, how can I prevent heart disease? How can I prevent diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure naturally, without any bypass, without any stents, without any medications? That's really was my search. So I end up from basically studying pharmacy and medicine and toxicology and microbiology and all of this stuff into studying integrative medicine, IM, functional medicine, FM, and lifestyle medicine, which is LM, which I think is going to be the medicine of the future, Austin. Today, if you talk to somebody about lifestyle medicine, say, yeah, we heard that before. Go on a good diet, exercise, you're going to live longer, but I need to take medication to control blood pressure. So during my career, I met somebody who was taking 28 meds, and he had 99% clogged arteries. 28 meds, done 2 bypass, 2 stents, and he was in a very bad shape. They sent him to hospice. This is 1998. And he was desperate, basically, because the medication, 28 meds, did not help him. The bypass did not help him.
He ran out of options.
He reminded me with my parents. Yeah, he reminded me with my story, the turnaround story. But this is what happened now in 9 months. 50% opening in 9 months, 1999. I'm happy to tell you, Austin, that this person now is actually alive today. He was 79 when I saw him here. Today he's over 100. So when I tell you, like, you can live above 100, wow, it's not just like theory. I've seen many people actually surpassing 100. And you've seen somebody in Pennsylvania actually live till 111. That is where my chapter in our book, How to Live Healthy to 111, because before it was How to Live Healthy to 111. If I did this, I'll be the first one in 7-8 generations to ever live to this long, because I have very bad genes. But thank God for a science called epigenetics, where you can control your genes, turn the bad ones off, the good ones on. So it's not the genes that determine your destiny. It's how your lifestyle, how you deal with it, how you exercise. This is why I insist on something called Wellness IQ at the academyofwellness.com. People look at it and say, 10 questions, I've done it before. Okay, I'm going to exercise. One of those days, I will exercise. You know what, Austin? I wish everybody's like you, dedicated to exercise. Yeah. Like, if it is one day past and you're not exercising and not stretching, you felt you're not living. Is that correct?
There's a clock in my head that it's like I can feel when I know, and we all have that thermostat. We talk about it at the live event.
Yes,
people have heard that before. We need to improve our thermostats, but I want to drill down deep, because I want to go back, because there's so much that you just covered in a short period of time. You've been doing this for so long, and I want to go back to the point where you experienced this, because I can only imagine, as I'm listening to your story, we don't even know how long your genetics, your generations of your family.
I don't even know myself.
You don't even know yourself. So you could be the first person. I mean, realistically, you could be the first person in your family tree that said, no, no, no. And this is like the genesis of Flashpoint. I know you talked about it, but it was, do you remember, was there a moment where you were 18?
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously I know what happened to you. And I mean, at that time, my goodness, it's just incredible amount of to take on. But do you remember a moment, like, were you in the kitchen? Were you in your bedroom? Were you talking to a friend? Like, do you remember what was happening when this moment of impact came to you?
I do remember it vividly. It happened 52 years ago, Austin. I do remember it vividly, as if it was just recently. I'm 70 today. This happened 52 years ago. I was 18. So it was 3 days before my final exam. We finished the exam, and then you can determine where you're going to go from there to certain universities. So during the 3 days before the final exam, we had to arrange for the funeral. I got people coming to my house. And then there was distraction. I could not actually concentrate on my studies. And this is the most important exam in your life, because it's going to determine your future after this. So it was very stressful. In fact, it was so stressful that I decided to do my first doctorate on stress. I just wanted to make sure that,
wow,
I need to know how much stress can a person take, how much distress a person can take. And all of us living with stress. And by the way, if you don't know this, stress causes over 80% of all diseases. So if you can somehow manage stress,
causes over 80% of diseases.
Yes, we cannot eliminate stress. My mentor, Dr. Han Selye, said that the absence of stress is death. So you cannot escape stress. We're going to be living with the stress continuous, but there's something called distress, when the stress is so high, overwhelming. And there's something called eustress, which is a good stress that we need to cope with life, to help us to thrive, not to become victims, but to become victors. So the difference here is how you perceive stress and how you handle it. You understand?
Yes, yes.
So this is what I had to confirm, that during this time of stress, when I was 18, I was looking for an answer. Like, I wish I know, Austin, what I know today when I was 18. I could have probably helped my family. But of course, what does 18 years old know about anything?
No, and I'm curious to know if you were studying wellness at that time, or you were just aspiring to continue your path of growing and moving on to college? Like, were you thinking about wellness at that time?
No, absolutely not.
Not even on your radar.
Something that's never taught at home, never even talked about healthy eating diet, because my diet from my parents was not really as wholesome as I thought it was. And then they were on high sugar, high carbohydrate, and high dairy and high simple carbs and all of this stuff. It was not, that's the reason for their illness, because they had problem with obesity, they had problem with high blood sugar, they had problem with insulin resistance, leptin resistance, all of this stuff. So we need to really focus on, as Tony was saying here, on prevention, not intervention. We need to focus on self-care instead of crisis care. If this was adopted back way when I was 18 years young, we probably could have saved my parents. But I did not know what I know today. So this is my mission, is not to have any person losing their mom in the 18 years young, or losing their dad when they're 25 or so. So this is my mission in life, is to help people to live longer, to live not just to 101. We want to live healthy to 111.
Dr. Grant, do you think your parents would be proud of you today?
Oh yes, absolutely, 100%. Yes.
They probably and yeah, I know, and it's a hard thing, and yes. But look, from every adversity is the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit, right? Think and Grow Rich, and the adversity. Look at your life. Look at the lives you've impacted. Over 10,000 people, Dr. Grant. Do you ever stop and think about that?
It was 20,000, 10 in Canada, 10,000 Canada, 10,000 overseas. To help them to prevent cancer, to help them to prevent heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes. Like you already know at academyofwellness.com how many books we contributed, and now the newest chapter now is in your thanks for your help on how to live healthy to 111. Now, if I can ever live to 111, that would be the biggest turnaround story for somebody who was orphaned at age 18 to live all the way above centurion.
And not just to live to that age, but to have a quality of life. I just interviewed a 95-year-old man who has a quality of life. He has no back pain.
Yes.
He has no knee pain.
Yes.
And he does lifestyle functional medicine now. And he did have an adversity, but he survived it, and he's made those changes, kind of like your client that you shared with there.
Exactly.
Dr. Grant, we're going to get more into this, but since you've kind of you kind of shared a little tidbit there, let's share with everyone the exciting news that we have coming up, and then we'll get right back with Dr. Grant. So stay with us, everyone.
Tied into perfect motion, turned off the road to ruin. Let my imperfect notions fly with the wind of the thoughts and feelings. Life flows me a bigger dream. Love grows among the living. Songs of our laughter, my children will sing. And I spend time delaying you, spend time delaying our lives to wait for you to change wrong into right. Only you can do, spend time obeying.
Okay, and we're back. And before we get into the rest of the interview, I want to bring up a point. We bring this up on every interview, and I have this on my desk, and this serves as it has multiple purposes. It helps keep me focused. It has a little word on there. I can flip it, productivity, inspiration. But it reminds me, Dr. Grant, that the clock, our time here is limited in this physical space. Yes. And just like this is filling up, it's I feel like it's our duty to fill up our time.
Yes.
To extend our time and to fill up our time so we can have a greater impact in this thing we call life. So this is our hourglass that we have. And we also have the cowbell. So we're looking, for the rest of this interview, we're looking for some cowbell moments. So a cowbell moment is a wow. So if you're wowed by Dr. Grant, type in the word wow when you hear that wow, and we're going to make sure we add more cowbell to this interview. Dr. Grant, I just showed that video of the summit that we have coming up and the co-authorship. Why did you decide to be a part of Flashpoint? Why did you decide to do the co-authorship? And now you're going to be at the summit. And I want to also, I know I'm hitting you with a lot, but I want to ask you, what are you going to talk about at the summit too? So why did you join the Flashpoint co-authorship and the Flashpoint, and what are you going to be talking about at the summit?
The objective of writing this chapter, How to Live Healthy to 111, is to inspire people to have this dream of living beyond centurion, because only 5% of population ever live till 100 and beyond. Then I ask myself, we have smartphones, we have smart homes, we have smart cars, we have smart everything, but we have stupid diets, we have stupid habits that we need to change. We have to focus on really prevention, and instead of intervention. We have to focus on self-care instead of crisis care. We have to focus on simple stuff like the A, B, C, D, E that I talked about. Attitude of gratitude. Every time, like you, Austin, I wake up in the morning and I say, thank God I'm 70. I'm healthy. I'm alive. You know what? That just start your day with attitude of gratitude, and I do stretching like cats do when they wake up. I do some stretching. I do all that stuff.
Yep.
And then
The breathing.
exercise. And then I have good diet, the best I can do. And then I drink my water, and I do all of the stuff that you do, right? So this is simple. And then I do the belly breathing, like simple stuff. This is what I want to share with people, how to live healthy 111. Simple tips. Like there's nothing expensive.
It's life-changing. I want to honor everyone because we got about 10 minutes left. I want to honor everyone that's on here. Mandy's on here. Hello, Austin and Dr. Grant. Carrie's on here. Hello, Carrie. Great to see you on with us today. We have Daniela's on here saying you are on a mission and have helped so many on your journey. Your parents are looking down on you. So proud. God bless you, Dr. Grant.
Thank you, Daniela. You're my favorite. Thank you. You and yes, and your good husband here are my dearest friend. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And Tony's on here as well. Thank you, Tony, for being here. She's very involved with our wellness community that we have, which is great. Dr. Grant, I have this. What is this, Dr. Grant?
It's a sweet potato that actually give you lots of fiber, lots of phytonutrients. When you bake it for about 45 minutes to 50 minutes in the oven, and then you cut it and you put cinnamon inside, that regulates insulin resistance. It regulates blood sugar to prevent it from going high and low, to go to gentle like this. So this is what I recommend for people with diabetes or insulin resistance. So you eat this once a day or twice a day. It's very healthy. It's got good fiber, and it's very, it's amazingly lots of phytonutrients there. The vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin E, all of the other phytonutrients is there. And all you gotta do is just make it and enjoy it. And it's a very healthy breakfast.
I have it for breakfast because of Dr. Grant. And this is a Japanese sweet potato.
Yes.
And this was interesting this morning. I was talking to Mandy and she was mentioning, and Mandy, if you want to type in the Japanese word, there's a Japanese word. And she was saying, hey, this Japanese word means this. And then at the same time, I'm eating the Japanese sweet potato, which has all the nutrients that you talked about. And I want to just to translate a little bit. What this does, it for me, if you are a carb fanatic and you love carbs, and you just you get that craving for that carb.
Yes.
This is a healthy way to curb that craving.
Exactly.
And it keeps your insulin levels low to prevent diabetes. Is that what we're talking about?
Exactly. In fact, that's why I recommended Tony Marie. She's our wellness associate here. And she was really eating too much Oreos and too much sugar. She's now away from any sugar. I'm so proud of her. I mean, this is a turnaround story from
It's a wow moment right there. It's a wow moment for Tony because
too much carbs to no carbs in less than 3 weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks, no carbs.
You're a carb fanatic. Imagine if you could get off of carbs or just. I love carbs. I'm going to admit it, but you know what? It's a lower. I eat less carbs. I feel more satiated, and I have more energy.
Yes,
God, energy is life, right? Frequency. Here's the word, the Japanese word, and it means. And what it means is, and for some reason, I have ikigai. We'll get into that later at the live event, but I don't know how to pronounce this word. I'm going to say arigato. I don't know how to say it, but it means, it means gratitude at a very deep level, like something that is very heart-centered. It's not like, hey, thanks a lot. It's like, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. So, Mandy, I think this is appropriate for Dr. Grant here because we appreciate you, Dr. Grant, and everything that you're doing. Mandy. To help people get healthy, over 20,000 clients and counting. It's 123. We're going to go into a closing sequence here. Dr. Grant, how can people connect with you?
Well, simply you can go to academyofwellness.com. All my information is on the website, all my contact information, everything that they need to know about me. But they were afraid to ask, is there academyofwellness.com? Simple.
Academyofwellness.com. And I want to invite people that if you want to start your health journey, you want to create your turnaround and you want to lose weight, you want to feel better, you want to look better. More importantly, you want to have healthy stuff happening inside of you, then we want you to go to the Wellness IQ. You can take the test there. It's free to take the test.
It's free. And then once they finish the test, they can connect with me. We can do what's called the AO mobile scan virtually from anywhere in the world. This can detect and determine exactly what's the challenge, particularly if somebody taking lots of meds. So we can actually determine exactly at what state. We don't never recommend anybody to stop medication. Basically, we help them through diet, lifestyle, to reduce their medication with their own physician gradually. Talking about blood pressure, diabetes, pain medications. There is no need to live on medication for the rest of their lives. Absolutely not. That's what I learned from my parents and grandparents. Okay. So yes, 100%. We can help them.
So what's your message to somebody right now?
The message, Austin, is we want to create 1,000 or even 1 million turnaround stories all over the world before I die. Let's create
turnaround stories.
Let's create turnaround stories, because we usually in our convention, in our medical conference here, the World Organization of Natural Medicine called WOM, we usually have about 400 doctors from all over the world coming. And the last one in October, we could not attend physically, so we done it virtually. Could you believe, Austin, we had 2.2 million people virtually from 100 countries. 2.2 million from 100 countries.
Million.
And like, okay, if we can just convert half of them to the turnaround stories that you're just talking about, I have done what I need to do as a human being, living my life fully.
Yes.
And that's my mission on life is accomplished. If we can actually enhance the lives of those, people, as many as we can during our lifetime. Exactly. To live healthy and to live, learn, laugh, love, and leave a legacy. That's really the mission.
Say that one more time.
It's you need to live, you need to learn, you need to love, you need to laugh, because laughter is the best medicine. And then you need to leave a legacy, because without leaving a legacy, your life would have been wasted. Every one of us, all of the co-authors in our book, looking at their turnaround story, they leave a great legacy, including yourself, Austin. And we want to thank you and honor you for everything that you've done to put all of these co-authors together in this book. And I hope they can join us on February 25th in our wellness mentoring call, because we have the top 6 doctors in the world joining us on this call.
The top 6 doctors in the world are going to be on
the world. The top nephrologists, the top kidney specialists, the top chiropractors, the top naturopath is going to be on the call on the 25th. Just join us, and then you can contact you or contact Tony Marie for the link, and then we'll be happy to have you. And anybody would be happy to have you for that 1-hour call to meet all of these top doctors in the world who follow all of this. And some of them, or most of them, are my students, by the way.
Yes. So this is very exciting. We're going to wrap up. We have some big news. If you're following along here, and I hope you are, we've had some great moments today. We've had some great moments and more cowbell. And we have some big things happening. We got the wellness mentoring community. But for those of you that like, what should I do? Just take the Wellness IQ test. That's like the best thing that you can do. Take the Wellness IQ. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just you fill it out. It'll give you an indication of where you are, and then someone can follow you. But Dr. Grant, we got the upcoming summit and we got the upcoming live event. So you're going to be at the summit on March 7th. We just shared that earlier. And
I'll be there virtually, not because I cannot cross the border to the US.
Virtually. Yeah, it's a virtual event. So we have the virtual event on March 7th. That's all virtual. And then we have the live event because the borders are closed. You're going to be joining us virtually for that. So I just want to share a little bit about that event right here with everyone as we come in for a close. So take a listen. This is Flashpoint Live happening March 19th, 20th, 21st. We want you there. We want your health turnaround story. We want your life turnaround story. So stay. We'll be right back.
He explains things in a way that I've never heard before, so it helps us to have an open mind and look at things differently than we're used to looking at them. Austin J. Dean's event, Flashpoint, has really transformed my life.
It's just remarkable to be with people that are uplifting, and it's dreary out, and it's fabulous to be here with great people.
Some of the different exercises we did made me feel liberated and break through some things that I needed to break through, and actually some things I realized about myself that I did not realize about. So it's been amazing.
It was an honor and a privilege to learn from you.
If you have an opportunity to come to an Austin J. Haynes event, don't hesitate.
Dr. Grant, are you excited about the news of Rudy going to be at the event with us?
I wish I can be there personally to give him a hug.
I know, me too, but he'll be joining us virtually as well.
Okay.
As will you. That's the world we live in, everyone. It's virtual,
Yes.
but we can still do a lot. Dr. Grant, I just want to give you the final say here as we close out. It's an honor to always chat with you and learn from you, and we're going to do this again, but I want to highlight you and the work that you've done. Even this far, you're doing everything that you're walking your talk. Find people that walk their talk. Dr. Grant is one of them. I'm great to call you a partner and friend. Is there anything you want to say as we close out?
Well, if everybody follow your steps of Austin here, eating a healthy diet, doing the belly breathing, full hydration, alkaline pH, avoiding all of the junk food, the crappy food, avoiding crap, C-R-A-P, carbonated beverage, artificial colors and flavor, and all of the processed food that we have. Avoid the SAD diet, S-A-D, standard American diet, or standard Canadian diet. Don't follow this fast food. Eat slow food. Make your salads every day. Eat sweet potato. Eat high fiber, less sugar, less carbohydrate, less simple carbohydrates. Eat healthy fruits, avocado, berries, pineapple, papaya, all of this healthy stuff. And then you live healthy, you will live longer. I mean, it is simple. It is really like there is no rocket science. You don't have to have a doctorate degree to understand this. It's just simple stuff, simple tips. It's all on the academyofwellness.com. As Austin was saying, if you go to Academy of Wellness and do the Wellness IQ, that will be the first step, because you're going to recognize what is hindering your wellness. Could you believe, Austin, the average client scored 55% on the Wellness IQ? This person here, his score was 15%. Now, 15%, you're basically walking dead. Like 15 out of 100. I mean,
a major turnaround story.
That's a huge turnaround story. Actually, he had every day, his diet was 6 strips of bacon, and he's drinking diet soda, greasy food, fast food, fried food. He was on the wrong side of the thing. That's why his score was 15. Now, if you look at his score now, his score is over 90%. He walks a mile a day. He does not touch any bad food. He does not touch any diet soda or any soda of any kind. This is a turnaround story. This is what we want to tell people.
Yep.
Wellness, you start with that.
We are running out of time. We are running out of time, Dr. Grant. I thank you so much. Please take that step. Take the Wellness IQ, and I'm so glad you were with us today, Dr. Grant. Get connected to Dr. Grant. Get the sweet potatoes. Get moving. Thank you, Dr. Grant. So thank you, everyone, for joining me today. This is Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts here. Join us next week for a special interview with Julie Gandy, who focuses on inner peace, that inner emotional state that creates your biochemistry. So stay with us. Thanks for being here today. Make sure you take a step toward your turnaround story.